letter from a lady from Flagler High School in Colorado, extolling the virtues of our graphic arts program, the 363 Design Group. And I know I've talked to you guys about this in the past, how they just really do really professional work. And I guess for about, I don't know, 6 years now, they have been purchasing things from us, and they're just highly complimentary of the work that our students are able to put together in a timely manner, and just it's all good. So I just want to bring that out as a celebration. That's great. The second thing is, my understanding is the first time since 1991, both the girls and the boys basketball teams have qualified for state. So that's quite interesting and quite the celebration. So there you go, Mr. President.
We'll have the financial report.
Okay, I'll start on page 4 of the warrants. Down at the bottom, Kennedy McKee, $15,204 for the audit. And then above that, Airtech to work on the walk-in fridge at the high school, $13,295. And then Train fixed the 2-story units, $9,087.69. So the warrants this month are $193,427.24. And then on page 5, our revenue and expense balances are all in good shape for this time of year. And same with page 6 on our fund expense summary. And then after that's our high school and middle school reports. So if you have any questions.
Hey, Mike, on page 3, what was the just under $5,000 for BSN Sports? A sideline net or something? Like the 4th item from the bottom?
Well, BSN Sports is one of our suppliers. We'll have to actually look into and see what that is. On top of my head, I can't tell you.
I thought maybe the net or something for baseball field or.
Right.
If there are no other questions for Mike, I'll take a motion to approve the financials.
Motion that.
Landon and Jarek. It's been moved and seconded to approve the financials at $192,427.24. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Administrative reports.
All righty. Start the hit parade here. Track update for you. We're on track for it to be completed. We're from the 10th to the 20th of March is when the group is supposed to be coming in to redo the work that had gone awry, if you recall. They got it all ground off, which is great. That's right on what needed to take place. And now they're waiting basically for the temperature to be at, it's weather dependent, between the 10th and the 20th to be completed. Talked with the Mammoth project manager on Friday, and he said, well, it has to be the air temperature and the ground temperature both. It's not supposed to dip below 40 degrees. I said, well, what if it does? Well, then we've got a problem as far as that goes. And so then we do have practice taking place, by the way. There's no issues there. We're safe. No problems whatsoever. He also says if they don't hit the 20th, they'll make it right by us. That's all fine as well. But where our conversation went robust is when he said, well, if you guys want to take on the liability, we'll just go ahead and, if the timing is more important than the craftsmanship, we'll go ahead and get her done. Well, that dog don't hunt. So I said, no, we are not taking on the liability. That's not what's happening. So, the reason good fences make good neighbors. I didn't make any threats by any means, but I did say that, if lawyers have to get involved with this, then lawyers will get involved with this. The 20th is the date it's supposed to be done. And they anticipate doing that. and having that done. We are, once the 10th hits, we're supposed to stay off it for those 10 days. But once again, the weather, be it the temperature or if it rains, have issues. And I voiced my displeasure about how it seems we have burnt some days here and there when maybe we could have been accelerating this and no one anticipated anything. So when I was told again on the phone that there shouldn't be an issue, that's when, like I said, when the conversation went robust. We're in a waiting game. They're supposed to be here on the 10th and to do the work. I've asked Jerry and Kent, said we have 3 meets. I think the first one, Jerry and I are talking today, mid-April. I don't see any reason why it can't be done by mid-April. But we've got to be doing our due diligence and have a plan A, B, C, and D in case we need to move the track meets. I don't want to do that. Any which way you slice and dice it, at the end of the day, it will be the showroom place that it's supposed to be. The track is. We are holding our final payment of north of $300,000, and I will not release that until we've punched it properly. So, not as happy as I would like to be at this juncture with this, but it's not March 20th yet. So we'll see what occurs between now and then. So that's my track update, Mr. Peterson. Middle school water leak. The claim has been submitted. The adjuster will be on site on Thursday. Any which way you look at this, it will be a $100,000 deductible, this way it's written into our policy. I will be bringing forward a request from the board to make that payment out of contingency reserve when that time comes. We have almost $900,000 sitting in that, so this is budget neutral, if you will. It has no impact on general fund, LOB, anything else at all. And legally, we can use contingency reserve for anything you want to. It just takes an overt open action motion from the board. Not too many years back, before I sat out of the game for 5 years, there were only like 4 uses for contingency reserve. Now it's wide open. Depending on how we can arm wrestle with the adjuster, it could end up being a whole new floor. If that's the case, that's north of 300. Or if they insist on just doing half of it, we're talking about 100, 150. The question is, can it be dovetailed in? And I don't know that yet. The game is afoot, as Holmes would say. Literary allusion there for you, Miss Figurative Language, Amy Albright. Final thing to mention to you, high school boiler. The 3 of the 4 boilers are kaput due to equipment failure. We've turned it in. One of the boilers is still working. It's 60% efficient. Claim has been submitted. The adjuster will be coming out at some point in time in the near future. On this one, we're in a better spot because it's got a different kind of coverage. I wish I could explain to you why that is the case, but I can't. It has to do with the mysteries of insurance. So on this one, it's a different kind of coverage, and it's $5,000 per occurrence. So our interpretation is this is one occurrence. So that's the place from which I'll be arguing when we go to get this settled in the end. Luckily, we are headed out of the winter months. Like I said, one of the boilers is working, and so we're limping along. Depending on what options come down the pike, each boiler, and you just multiply this times 3 or 4 if we can get the coverage, it's either $36,000 per boiler or $54,000 per boiler. But once again, since it's a different kind of coverage, that's $5,000 to us out of pocket because all this occurred in one occurrence. At least that's my statement. That's my stance. So that's my joyous report, Mr. Peterson.
Yeah, one question, it might be best for Tyler. Are we still able to use the gym fully right now?
Not fully, because part of it's, blocked off. Our bleachers, a section of them, one right now, is not, it will be used by the kids for our assemblies. I'm sure within a week it's going to be 2, because that water's continuing to move along that sideline.
But also toward that end, Landon, I was in there a couple times last week, and Scott was having class, and they're using the gym. It's not a competition. I mean, that's just PE, but they're utilizing it, and things are taking place. So.
Buildings report?
Nothing further.
And grounds? And Sam's not here. Sam, what you did?
Yeah, he's sick.
Food service?
Nothing further.
Technology?
He's coming in the room.
Principals, we will start with Mrs. Albright.
We had our first music concert for Wiley last Thursday for kindergarten, and I just want to give a shout out to Debbie Tidwell. She always does an amazing job. She incorporates lots of movement, stories, instruments, and things like that for the concerts, and so the kids did a really great job. She keeps it short and sweet with 30 minutes, and that's just about the perfect time for our students to be up there and do their performing. So we had a great turnout from families, and looking forward to our next one, which we have 2 in the month of April, I believe, was when 1st and 2nd grade. So she does an awesome job every year.
Thank you. Mrs. Stein?
Just a couple things going on in each of our grade levels. 3rd grade is working on writing letters, and so they just asked me today they would like to go walk over to the post office to mail some letters next week, so I think, or actually this week. So I think that's great for them to actually go and put, well, I think even just addressing the envelope is part of what they do, and putting the stamp on and mailing it, so that'll be pretty exciting for them. Our 4th grade finished their Bottleseum, which I put in one of my reports, but we have 6 of them over here for you guys to take a look at when you have a chance. The kids do a really nice job on that. The teachers have done it for several years and have it down to a science. Parents also, I know, help with the bottles. The project is actually the social studies state assessment. The Bottleseum part is just something that the 4th grade add on to it to give it a little bit of spunk, I think, and excitement for the kids. But the piece that is for the state assessment is the actual research project, and they choose a famous Kansan. I believe they do 2 of them. I can't remember what the second topic is that they do. But definitely take a look at them. They do an awesome job every year on that. And then our 5th grade, we just had our DARE graduation last week, and both Ms. Seaman and Officer Shelton did a great job with that. We had the Vice Mayor of Garden City, Deb Euler, there. She had a great message for the kids. And then also the Mayor of Garden City was there, Tom Wynn, I believe is how you say his name. And he did some fun things too. They actually played a game, and it was really good selection of people to come and tie in, just some of the messages that they get through that whole program. So we also, this is the first year we've had it up at the high school, which I think made it seem a little bit more formal and a little bit more special. I think that the kids liked that a lot. And lastly, in PE, we are still rolling along. Kids may have a couple of bumps and bruises, but overall they are having a great time. And kudos to Mr. Rodriguez. He has, I don't know how he does it with all of them. I mean, only a couple of them have skated before, but they really done an awesome job. Even, all the way over to Wiley. They're just having a great time. So we're nearing the end of that. We have 4 days left, right? So that's been really fun. I hope we'll be able to do that in years to come, because it's been pretty cool. And I actually text both Amy and Treg and told them I just saw somebody roller skating down the sidewalk one day, and they said, I think Amy said she saw a group of kids roller skating. So bringing back roller skating to Holcomb. So it's been awesome.
You get a chance, do go over and look at the Bottleseum. I think one of those is Mr. Peterson. I'm not sure. Being a famous American, famous Kansan that he is. That's a really cool project that they do every year.
Dr. Hilton.
So we do actually have one survivor of the NAEP testing in our midst. Did you have math or reading? Reading, okay. So the kids, when they got there, they didn't know till they got there, they only had to do math or reading, which I can't tell you anything about it because I had to sign an NDA if I wanted to know about it and all that good stuff. So I heard it was a torture, but they got through it. So we got that behind us until we get drawn again in 6 or 7 years. We'll see. Got a week of, getting units wrapped up here before spring break. Couple of big weeks when we get back from spring break. Ms. Myers has been working with Skyward so that kids can pick their electives for next year. So 6th, 7th, and 8th graders 5th, 6th, and 7th graders will get started on that once we get back from spring break. And our state assessments start the first week of April. And they're kind of splintered throughout April. We've communicated that information. It's pinned to our Facebook page. We'll send more reminders out. But hope the kids enjoy their break. But they'll be hitting hard and heavy when we get back. Thank you.
Mr. Johnson?
Along the lines of state assessments, high school state assessments are coming up also. The 8th and 9th of April will be when we're taking we only take 3 state assessments. You take sophomore level English, sophomore level math, and then you take junior level English or science, are the 3 state assessments that we're going to be given coming up. What we're trying to do in order to try to win state assessments, that's something that we're going to increasingly try to do more and more, is to try to increase our state assessment scores. Last year we did a testing day that was similar to a lot of schools in the area where they try to make it a bigger day and they don't do anything else but just that testing, and then you allow the students to leave for a half a day so that they get good and rested and come back for the second day. So we'll be putting information out about that coming up. The other thing I want to talk to you about is through MTSS Math, we were advised to go check out Chapman School. Their math program has really taken off since about 2013, 2014. They have 67% of their students score 3s and 4s on the math state assessment. Less than 5% score level 1. And so when we went up there, I was able to take our math team. We took all 3 math teachers. We went and spent a day with them. We zoomed in before just to kind of see what they were doing and some of the things that they were unique about what they're doing. In 2013, 2014, they switched over to standards-based grading in math and English. They also switched to a hybrid schedule like what we have, where their hybrid schedule is on Thursday and Friday. It's at the end of the day. One thing that they do that's not the same as what we do, we allow reassessments to take place, relearning to take place. They have what they call like an Irish hub, where students, if they don't get the skill, they're sent to that hub for seminar, and peer tutoring takes place in there. And we thought that was a really cool idea, where their National Honor Society is really big, but it's during that where some of the peer tutoring is helping them learn those skills. So we picked up some really good stuff. One thing that we were really excited to bring back is, we're on the right track with some of the improvements we're making. We're about 5 to 6 years behind their timeline. But as far as some of the things that we trying to switch over, we're switching to like a standards-based grading to see the level of learning of our students first, to see where they're at, and then trying to provide some of the interventions. They did that also. So there's some good stuff there. We're excited about it. We're looking at implementing some of that up for the next couple of years. So,
Thanks, Jerry. Next we have, unfinished business, and we have a middle school student presentation.
All righty. Every other month or so, I like to bring forward, or have the principals bring forward, presentations made up from student groups, indicative of the cool things taking place in the various buildings. And this month, it happens to be the middle school's turn, and so Tyler threw that out to his staff, and minimally 2 people or 2 different groups jumped forward and said, "We'll do it. We'll share." So we have the middle school art club. Will be going first, it appears, and then we'll have the middle school individual plans of study garage sale group. So with that, Dr. Helton, if you'd Any other introduction?
Yeah, come on up, guys. You guys can sit over here if you want. There it is. Mouse will work as you go through it, okay? Middle school, we've always tried to focus on our individual plans of study. IPS has been a cornerstone of Holcomb Middle School. We've tried to be out in front of things, giving kids opportunities, go to field trips that are tailored to their career interests instead of just generic field trips. And then Unhooked is a part of that. And in Unhooked, they pick ones they're interested in based on, strengths they have or passions they have. And two of these groups will start with Art Club, kind of things they've been working on, and then Mrs. Leonard's group will come up and kind of talk about the garage sales that they've spearheaded and what they're doing with those proceeds. So I'll turn it over to Nace and Mr. Novak for Art Club.
Holcomb Middle School Art Club. Our current focus is a handmade card fundraiser to help raise money for our supplies and for other enrichment projects. This fundraiser that we are working on is making cards for birthdays and holiday cards. Here's are some of the examples of cards we've made so far.
Sorry, those all freehand?
Yep.
Cool. Look good.
We have another idea for a fundraiser to sell pottery and make pottery for Holcomb Middle School staff. The money we will raise, the art club will be used, to do other projects of their choice. Oh, thank you for your time.
Hey, you read better than your dad.
So far, we've made, I think, about $35 on the card fundraiser. You can personalize them how you want. You can add candy or other things with it as well. So far, the pottery, we've only sold one, but haven't really advertised it that much yet. It costs a lot more to supply the product.
So they'll take orders as far as the cards go?
Yep.
And then sit with somebody and say, well, I'd like to have a donkey on there, or whatever.
And then you at least give us 2 weeks, so we have a chance to get them done, because we only meet twice a week if it's a full week.
And what's the card cost?
I think it's like $3 for a standard card, and then you can get extra stuff added and it personalized.
Uh-huh. Oh, cool.
That's all we have, so thank you.
Has that been advertised on like Facebook or anything?
No, I've only sent out to the district and then like inside the middle school. So that's probably my next step of what I need to do is like it on the Facebook page.
You want to try to figure it out somehow, work with Christian, we can get it out here on the marquee board too. That'd be cool. I mean, it's handmade stuff and it's true art.
All right, thank you so much, appreciate it.
Yes.
Right, this is Liam Unruh, and I also want to introduce Miss Miranda, his mom, because both of them have been very active in both of the garage sales that we've had. Liam actually signed up to be in my second semester Unhooked, and I think it's because he wanted to help with the garage sale. But when we started in the Unhooked, my students wanted to do something. They had all kinds of ideas, but everything always costs money to do some of the activities and things they wanted to do. So we had to come up with something that we could raise money and benefit everybody. So when I mentioned the garage sale, I always tell them, I said, I'm not just a classroom thinker. I think outside the box. I try and think of the whole middle school involved. And we got to talk, and I said, how about we get the whole community involved? And so that's why we came up with the garage sale, hoping that we could get the community to help support and no cost to nobody, help the community get rid of things that they didn't need, and it sure has been a big hit from the feedback that we have gotten. Okay. Okay. So here's some of the flyers that we've had. Go ahead.
This is the advertising that we did for the first one on the very left was obviously the first one. And then on the second semester, we got to thinking to do another one for all the stuff that we didn't sell and to get more stuff. That's our second flyer. And in kind of the middle one, we have that one on the TV screen. And then we have all the things for the organizing. This is the first one. This one was huge. They were both really big, but I think this one was my favorite because it was the first one. This is all the other stuff. We did this one in the cafeteria. This is the second one we did a couple of weeks ago. We did it in the commons area and all the hallways during parent-teacher conferences. And we were gonna do like a breakfast, but that didn't work out. So this is all the other stuff. These are all of our profits that we got and all the money that we made throughout everything that we've done. The things that we are using the funds for. Teacher appreciation breakfast that's just like we're feeding the teachers breakfast on one of the mornings. April Fun Day is we have bouncy houses, I think mini golf, and what's the other one?
There's 4 different.
Yeah, there's 4 different ones, and they're supposed to be really fun. And then we do games and like prizes for assemblies for teachers and students. And then we donate donations to HMS families. And then in a couple of weeks, we're gonna go get some recess equipment for our recess. And then our future plans are 2 teacher appreciations and a couple fun activities twice in a semester. That was the first breakfast that we did. It was in the commons area. I think it was pretty cool.
The teachers seem to really appreciated this one because they never know what we're doing or when we're doing anything. And they came in that morning and they're like, what's going on? And then we just motioned for them to come over, and then they got to pick out of like 4 different breakfast things that, and we had juices, and they seemed to really appreciated that one.
This was our April Fun Day. That's our bouncy house course. That's probably going to be my favorite. And then we have a mini golf and a couple others, but I'm really looking forward to this one. These were the helpers that we did for one of the assemblies. So we have a couple of kids. That's who just helped. And so much appreciation. Thank you.
Couple questions for you. I'm sorry, go ahead.
One of the students that couldn't be here, he wrote a little note for me to read. He put, I think the garage sale is a great way to help us students to raise money. He said, I helped communicate with the customers, and that was my highlight. He said, I enjoyed talking to them, and everyone was so friendly. I helped put everything together and helped set up and put away.
A couple questions, and it's so cool how you involve the community with this. Any idea at all how many items have been donated? Ballpark, just ballpark it.
Oh, I have no clue.
Literally thousands.
Yeah, thousands and thousands.
And I thought I saw on the ledger up there, $1,600 you guys generated?
The first garage sale we made $3,700.
$3,700, okay.
And then the second one we made right at $1,100. The first one was in the fall, and we did it on a Saturday. The second one we did during parent-teacher conferences to see if that would help bring parents to conferences.
Yeah.
And so it was a Thursday and a Friday, and it was pretty slow. So I think our main goal is going to be during parent-teacher conferences in the fall, and do it for like the Thursday and a Friday and maybe Saturday, because it's a lot of work, so we want to try and get more.
And what do you do with the leftover stuff?
Okay, so the leftover, we donate majority of it to the, what's the church over here? Christian? First Baptist. We donate it to the First Baptist because I know they have lots of community church garage sales. So we donate it to them and keep it in the.
So then you start over with nothing and,
Start over, yeah.
Okay.
We had several of the parents that, and community that donated for the first one. They came back and donated more for the second one, so,
all right?
yeah. And our goal is, like, the second one, I want to get our clubs at the middle school more involved, like maybe get the K Club to do maybe the concession stand, get the, like the art club, he came in and he did some art, so they sold some pottery, and then any club that we have, I'd like to get involved to have where they're doing something too, so that they can bring and get involved too, and maybe get some money to their clubs. So,
Most I've ever made on a garage sale is like $100.
It's a lot of work. Good,
It is a lot of work.
Good job.
All right, thank you so much, and there are cookies. There are cookies available. Please avail yourself of them before you leave.
Next up, we have the Wiley Little Learners.
All righty. As you guys are well aware, we've decided to move away from the state-sponsored, state-run, I guess if more appropriately, PAT organization. But due to the various new requirements that have been put in over the last couple, 3 or 4 years. But we are absolutely dedicated to this workspace. The work that Carrie and then now Amy have been doing within this group is just phenomenal as far as I'm concerned. So we're dropping PAT as far as the name goes. So it's appropriate for us to rename it. And so I asked Amy and Carrie to come here for this little bit of celebration. And so, of course, we'll share some information about the program for you as well. Ultimately, I'll be asking the board to rename the PAT group to Wiley Little Learners, but that'll be at the end after the presentation. So, Ms. Albright.
Okay, so I have Carrie with me. She's the rock star who runs our PAT program, soon to be Wiley Little Learners. She's amazing, and she has done a lot of different activities with our community who has little ones. She takes them to different places within the community and does play groups with them outside of the school, but we also have play groups come to the school, so it's a great opportunity for our little ones to get exposed to the school so that they can eventually transition into 3- and 4-year-old preschool before going to kindergarten. Carrie has just been amazing with everything. She's worked very hard to build our program to what it is today, and she's a great resource for a lot of our families. She stays in touch with many families who actually aren't part of the program just because she's a great person who is willing to help whenever and wherever she is needed, and I know our families really appreciate her for that. So I'm going to let her.
So I had to write this out where I'm going to get sidetracked. So I've been the coordinator for the past 7 years for the Parents as Teachers program and for the Wiley Playgroup. We have to do 2 separate groups due to the grant. So they just asked me to come here to just share a few things, and so like I said, I had to write it down. As you probably know by now, we're no longer going to go with Parents as Teachers name. Instead, we're going to bring the 2 programs together under a new name called Wiley Little Learners. I'm very excited about this opportunity because it allows us to grow our program without limitations that has come with the grant. For example, under the grant, I can only serve 10 kids. And with, I don't know if everybody knows, but we have several of the parents that are going to be expecting again, so I wouldn't be able to take their new babies because of the grant. So now that you guys have blessed me that we're not going with the grant, I'll be able to actually grow a program even more. I do have a slideshow. It doesn't have any sound or anything. It's just showing all the different activities that we have done for the past 7 years. I have asked for permission to show. These are 2 little ones that are giving hugs because the one's not coming anymore to morning playgroup, and they were sad, so they were taking pictures. But we do prenatal all the way to 5 years of age. I offer play groups every Wednesday mornings, and then some Wednesday nights. On Fridays, we've done, Mrs. Tidwell came in and did a music class on a Saturday. I'm trying to just find some different times to do things because I understand parents work. So this picture right here is an infant massage class that Kara King taught. This is just a playgroup, and I just took some random pictures. But some of the things that we have done is RCDC has come in and offered car seat checks along with hearing and vision screenings. We've had a dental hygienist come in and do a presentation on the importance of keeping teeth cleaned. I've helped do the Longhorn Fest as well as going to the Pumpkin Patch, the zoo, a fun zone, the McDonald's Playhouse. We've also gone to the Ranch Senior Living Center, and we've done activities with their residents. Just, what was that cooking class, a week or two ago? We had a high school student that was needing to do a project for her, I don't know exactly what class. And so she did a cooking class for my little kids. So we went up to the high school and did cooking class with them. I also have a paper that I would like to share that you guys can look at your own time of just notes from parents explaining like what playgroup and parents as teachers has meant to them. I also want to thank Dr. Myers and Amy for supporting me and allowing me to run the program to the best of my ability, as well as the district office staff, because they are always willing to lend a hand and help me whatever I need, as well as you board members for continuing to support my program. That's all I have.
Any questions for Carrie or Amy?
Do you make guest appearances in costume, or is that just ball games?
Actually, tomorrow morning I will be in my Longhorn costume.
She's donated gingerbread costumes, Frosty.
I have Frosty.
Yeah.
I have a polar bear. I have a dinosaur. I have a lot. Okay, I don't. My sister and her husband do.
Or do you have anybody that helps you on a regular basis?
No, so parents have to stay for all my activities, or a grandparent, a sister, a brother. So it's just, I mean, I have done it where we've been like, a parent is like, can I run this lunch down to the cafeteria for my older kids? So then their kid will stay in playgroup with me alone. But no, they have to be present. Yeah.
So you mentioned that it changes some of your capacity. You were limited 10. What, is there capacity limits that you'll have in place now?
I think that's kind of up to you guys. I mean, like right now, because I will kind of depend on how we go with the direction, if we're still going to do one-on-one visits, because that's what Parents as Teachers does. They do home visits. A lot of my families come to the school for visits because they like that different scenery, and it's something new for their kids. I do serve some families at their homes, and they have asked if I will continue to do that. So I think it depends on how you guys vote, if we're going to use the PAT curriculum, because we can still use their curriculum and just not be an affiliate with the grant.
What do you feel your capacity is?
I think it's just going to depend on like my schedule, because right now it's super flexible. Like, so I work part-time at Dollar General too and do this. So like both places work with my schedule. A lot of my night visits, or my home visits are at night. So I do playgroup in the morning, and then I have an afternoon break, and then I come back to the school to do visits. So I think it just depends. I only have 2 years left of my children being in high school, so then it will be way open. So, I mean, I do feel like I can do more than 10 already, but because of the way the grant is wrote, because when you guys very first got it before me, because this was here before me, the grant was wrote with a different state lady, and it was supposed to be a full-time position. Well, we only had it a year, and then we got a new state lady, and then she chose to go a different direction. And so then we got our budget cut and our numbers cut.
What could you have been if you were full-time?
During the grant, if I'm full-time, you can only have 20. So, but that's also doing paperwork and all that stuff, like, so.
So at the end of the day, this is, truly an essential program to the district as far as I'm concerned. And Carrie does a bang-up job on it. So moving away from the PAT organization doesn't hurt my feelings one bit. We've got the budget crunch, we're good as far as moving forward. And just for us to be able to do it, meet our needs how we want to, rather than some capricious, in my mind's eye, capricious rules from above. This is a positive as far as I'm concerned. So I recommend the board rename the PAT group the Wiley Little Learners.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Ryan Ruda, seconded by Jerry, to rename the PAT group the Wiley Little Learners. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Can I say one more thing?
Sure.
So Wiley Playgroup, sometimes I will have anywhere from 2 kids to 20 kids. And you know what I mean? Like, so PAT is different than the Wiley Playgroup, so now joining them together. And I don't know if that makes sense. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. Like, PAT is separate than our Wiley Playgroup.
Right.
So, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies.
Next, we have early release at elementary, WES, and HES.
Yeah, we've been, kicking this around for a year at least, and now it's time to make it a reality. So if you recall, we've come forward seeking the opportunity for both Wiley Elementary and Holcomb Elementary, beginning next school year, so the 26-27 school year, to implement the early release program to take place on a monthly basis, okay? The reasoning behind this, and, I've written about this, we've talked about it, Amy and Randy were here I think it was last month, to answer questions for you. It's dedicated professional learning time that it just is really needed. We just hate to say we don't have enough time in the day, but we just don't have enough time in the day as far as that goes. So it's dedicated professional learning time. It allows professional learning communities by grades, by building, and also at times for the pre-K-12 groups to come together. So it's just the function, time is a resource. And so it's that function of that. That's the need for it. 6 times, and I know one of the concerns is, well, what happens with the students who are being sent home? 6 times already this throughout the school year, the preschool does not come to school rather when school is taking place. So this is not really a brand new concept of splitting the herd, if you will, as far as having some kids at home as far as that goes. We'd be utilizing the same dates as the middle school and the high school, down the road. This would allow us to run the buses at that time, midday on those. I think it's the 3rd Thursday. What are they, Jerry? You have those?
They're not a set time.
Okay.
We look to see what's in that month. Try not to do it the same day that you already have school.
Yeah. So, but we'll get on the front end of this thing because we'll need to start communicating this sooner than later, so that parents, can be organizing or arranging for the taking care of the students, after school on the day in September, the day in October. So that's where we're at this point. Now is the time for this decision to be made. So I personally, I would not have brought this to you if I didn't think it was important. I think it is important. So I recommend the board approve of the early release program to start at Wiley Elementary and Holcomb Elementary schools starting in the 26-27 school year.
I would make that motion.
Second.
Moved by Dave, seconded by Landon. Just to approve the early release program to start at Wiley and the Holcomb Elementary School starting next year. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I did have got several comments, and I know the dates are sent out at the beginning of the year, but some people do kind of forget. So maybe like a text communication on the day or the day before.
Oh, yeah.
I talked to Keisha last one, and she did send one out middle of the day, and that helps people kind of forget what days those are. So I think that would be huge to do that.
Next up, we have KASB policy recommendations.
All right, this is that 2 months process of acting upon the KASB recommended policy updates. And so if you recall, we had the first read on these last month. So this is the second and final read. The first one deals with making it clear that we, don't record anything during the executive session. Second one reinforces it's inappropriate for teachers to express personal viewpoints that violate board policy or state law on political activity. It just codifies that. Third, allows districts to drive into other districts to pick up students. That way we would have it on the books. We can do it legally, but now we have it in our handbook as well. I'm sorry, our board policy book. JCAC, interrogation and investigation, reinforces in a locus parentis, which basically means in lieu of the parents, and clarifies when staff should notify parents when a student is being questioned by law enforcement. It's not in the case of, let's say there's concerns about abuse or something like that. That's when we would not be talking to parents in that situation. The next one clarifies the administration will determine the placement of an adult student who wants to come back to school. And then the final one is allows personnel to request law enforcement agency identification of off-duty officers. Something went in play a year ago saying we couldn't do it. And then KASB worked with lawyers and statutes and dug into it and said, well, hold on a second. We need to know if they're off duty because oftentimes they're carrying firearms and it's legal for them to do so, but it's awfully nice to know, that this person is, because otherwise firearms are not allowed in our school facilities. So I recommend the board approve these KASB proposed policy adjustments as presented.
No questions on on these per se, but just a question in general. I know this legislative session, there's been changes that have been put into place on walkouts, protests, what school's responsibility is. Is that something the KASB will come forward with?
Yeah, certainly they will.
Yeah.
Absolutely. They generally wait. It's twice a year they put something out. I'm sure they're waiting for all the cattle to get home, and then they'll be putting things out.
Okay.
Curtis, I'll make that motion to approve the KSB proposed policy adjustments.
Moved by Ryan Trivogel, seconded by Jerry Mayer, to approve the proposed policy adjustments. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next up, the engagement letter to Kennedy McKee.
By statute, districts, probably all governmental agencies, but districts for sure, have to have a third party, objective third party, who's qualified to provide the services, fiscal auditing and overview of our management. And so in order to make that a reality, there's a contract in place. And so we've worked with Kennedy McKee, BS, before Scott, and they're good. They do a nice job. They're very thorough, and they help us make sure everything we do is above board and and legal. So every year we come forward with a proposal to continue the services. This year, for the first time ever, they are proposing a 3-year contract. I have zero trepidations on bringing that forward to you, saying, yeah, go ahead and do a 3-year deal if you want to. The increase from last year to this year, from this year to next year, is increase to $575, and then it basically goes up a little bit each month or each year from there as well. They're a quality group, and I do recommend approval of the proposed contract with Kennedy McKee and Company as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Dave, seconded by Ryan Ruda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. New business, school fees for next year.
Yep, on an annual basis, the board sets fees. We've accelerated it. Usually this stuff prior to online enrollment, this stuff would take place later in the school year, April, May, or whatever. Well, we like to launch enrollment here pretty soon. But in order to do that, we need to have the fees in place. That's also the reason we continue to push handbook approvals. So what you have before you are the variety of school fees that are assessed, or we provide opportunities for people to participate in a variety of things. Across the board, the only 2 areas that I'm looking to have any increase whatsoever would be on the educational materials fees. We've not increased those fees for years. This fuels and allows us to pay for our curriculum materials. So you have the numbers before you. It's a $10 increase is what I'm proposing. And then also the student athletic participation fees are also a $10 increase over last year that I'm proposing. Once again, those have not been addressed or adjusted for 3, 4, 5 years. It's been a while. So as much as I don't like increasing the fees, the cost of everything is continuing to go up, so it's needed. Then you also have a variety of other fees in here that I'm not making any recommendations to increase the sports admission fees, the lunch meals at this point. Now, KSDE will come out later on with the new reimbursement rates, and so it's probably, I'll be bringing you an update on the meal prices later into the summer. It could be July, because they march to the beat of their own drums, but in order to get things rolling for enrollment type stuff, it's important to go ahead and approve of the meal prices that are presented here. You also have driver's education, no increase, and library fees, no increase. So with that, I recommend the board approve the recommended 26-27 school fees as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Landon, seconded by Ryan Trevogel. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Next up, we have summer sports transportation.
On an annual basis, the district, way before my time, took on the attitude of, if there's a need, the coaches can come forward and request the use of summer sports transportation. 10 years ago, Keisha changed a regulation. Previous to that, it was not allowed by Keisha. It has been now. This is the 10th year going on where it is allowable. We've got guidelines there in your packet. Last year, there were no violations of the guidelines by anybody who used the vehicles. And we want our student athletes to be able to go to, competitions and training events and camps and whatnot. This facilitates that. So I recommend approval of the request to allow the use of district vehicles for teams to attend summer camps.
So moved.
Second.
By Ryan Ruda and seconded by Landon. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Handbooks.
We have 5 handbooks for you to consider tonight. High school student, virtual school, high school athletic, middle school athletic, and Chromebook acceptable use agreement. There are no proposed changes for the athletic and the Chromebook except for proposed change dates. We changed the dates to match the new school year going in. High school, proposed change in the dress code, in that we're wanting to not allow students to wear hoods in the building. This came to us as a recommendation from the SRO, as it is tough to see students' faces when we're having to do some form of investigation. And unfortunately, sometimes we have to do that. The next two are tied together. Academic distinction going away from the Val and Sal system to the cum laude system. All universities that I know of have that system in place. This would allow us to celebrate the academic achievements of more of our students. It's tied to GPA. By implementing the academic distinction, somebody would be summa cum laude or magna cum laude or cum laude, depending on, where he or she falls in their academic work. But by putting that in, we need to take out the determination of Val and Sal. So this one giveth, this one taketh away, as far as the high school handbook goes. The virtual school, there's just a variety of topics in there that basically say, hey, you got to do what you're supposed to be doing. This is not just a primrose path where you can just do nothing. If you want to be eligible, you got to do this much work. If you want to stay in the virtual school, you got to do this much work. 30 hours is what it is per week. And so it's just really, Amy Wickwer, who's really heads up all that group, all that work, does a fabulous job in keeping us on top of the keeping on top of all the various things that come down the pike from the state and from Acacia to make sure the virtual school is operating in a manner that is how we want it to operate. So with that, I recommend approval of the 5 handbooks as presented.
So moved.
Moved by Jarek, seconded by Dave to approve the handbooks as presented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Next, we have a donation.
And in reality, we have 2. We didn't have to adjust the agenda because this was already on the agenda, but we received one today. So we might as well, strike while the griddle's hot, right? So we have a donation from Wheatland for $500 to the to the 2 elementary schools, and then a patron is wanting to donate 6 metal basketball nets for the playgrounds. I think that's great. We have really good support from our community. So I recommend the board accept the 2 donations as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Landon, seconded by Ryan Ruda to accept the donations as presented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Next would be disposal of the weight room.
Yeah, we kind of got out in front of our skis on this one. In order for any kind of getting rid of anything in the district, be selling it and or just throwing it away ultimately, we try really hard not to do that. The school board has to take action on that. And so with the board accepting the donation for the funding for new weight equipment at the high school, that allows us the opportunity to dispose of that of the same property. So I do recommend the board dispose of that property, and with that in mind, then we'll be able to sell it.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Landon, seconded by Jarek. Dave?
The proceeds for that go to,
We'll put it back into the sports program at the high school. Or the board slush fund, if you'd rather, Mr. Secretary.
like that.
Matt Jones Memorial Slush Fund.
Been moved and seconded to approve the sale / disposal of the weight room equipment, the old weight room equipment. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. And then we have out-of-state travel.
Yeah, and, previously, this is for some track athletes. Previously, we've had what we call elite track opportunities or track meet opportunities, and we would go to the KU relays or to Wichita. Well, KU relays don't exist anymore, I guess, and in Wichita they're redoing all their facilities, and so they looked around and said, well, where could we take? And there's 4 athletes who would be involved in this. Where could we go? Well, it happens to be over the line in Kansas City. So that triggers our board policy that says in order for anybody to go out of state, it takes board policy to do that. So they reached out to me asking for board approval to get this done. I don't normally accelerate things this quickly. I usually like to take my time, my cadence of moving things to the board. But the registration for this would be taking place. We would not be able to have the April board meeting and still be able to allow them to get to this. Basically, what they're asking for is transportation costs and a registration of $100 total to attend this track meet. 4 students would be going. It takes place from April 16th through the 18th. Great opportunity. I recommend the board approve of this request.
Is this in basically replacing the KU relays
Yeah. that's
that we've
correct.
attended in the past?
Yeah, right. Or the one in Wichita, which is
Sure.
considered elite.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Ryan Trivogel, seconded by Landon to approve this request. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Lastly, personnel.
10 minutes.
Looks like we need to go into executive session for 10 minutes. Let's start at 5 after 8.